Right, this is very weird. I've never recorded myself for Tumblr really, but you know, I thought I'd do a mum video 3 or 4 years late. This celebrate having 1,000 followers, which is really awesome. And just before I started this, I looked on my laptop to figure out how long I've been writing Lance, and next month, and in about 7 days in a month, I'll have written him for 5 years. And I know a few of you have come from my old blog to this one, so that's really amazing. And to finally hit 1,000 followers, I just wanted to say thank you so much. So I've got questions here from loads of people. Actually, like, so many questions. I wasn't really expecting so many. So I'll tag anyone who sent them in off and on, but obviously I have anonymous ones and some are quite similar, so I will try and answer as best as possible. This is really awkward. Hey! So something I've always wanted to write but never had the chance to would probably be, because it's possible, to do Lance in the future, but featuring all members of the Brotherhood as like a kind of conversation and setting of how they live and like how their relationships have grown and adapted. So I've done a couple with Pietro and a couple with Awanda, but it would be really exciting to do Freddie and Toad as well because I love them. I like this one a lot. If you were a mutant, what would your superpower be? Depends, because like with an active power, I'd kind of, because I love Avatar The Last Airbender, I would totally want to have water manipulation, just so I could be a waterbender basically. But also in terms of like what I think I'd be best for would probably be like an empath to like sense the feelings, because that's kind of what I do anyway. If not Lance, what other muse would you write or do write? I've currently got a OC, like M/MC of Mystic Messenger called Misan, which is really lovely to write, but there's so many muses I would want to write. I'd really love to actually start writing Marianne again from Strange Magic, but there is no one who likes Strange Magic, so I'm not going to do that. And to be fair, running 2 blogs is enough for now. Favourite quote? Favourite quote pertaining to Lance would probably be, you know, the classic of like, I'm gonna rock your world, because fun. This is also a nice one, it's more about me, it's like what book I always reread. I never ever ever finish it, but Notre Dame de Paris, which I'm sure lots of you know that I love Hunchback of Notre Dame. I've written Esmeralda and Clopin several times throughout the years. A costume to go if I went to a masquerade in person. Oh, that's definitely have to go with a water theme, like mermaid or centaur, kind of woodland vibe, just because, you know, hair and general aesthetics reasons. What was my introduction to roleplay community? Not just this one. I actually started because I signed up for this, some of you might know, a Very Potter musical. I signed up for like a fake fan site that was like pig farts, and I used the username Hermione Granger without thinking of like roleplay. I didn't know anything about it, and then like people started communicating with me in the chats and stuff and started referring to me as such. I was like, oh, this is a thing people do, this is kind of cool. And then they eventually invited me over from there to Tumblr and I had Hermione for like a couple of months, but I wasn't really very good at it. And then I then dove into, at that point I was really into Vampire Diaries, so Lexi from Vampire Diaries I started to write, and that was more in a roleplay group, and I was used to writing groups, so going to the independent roleplay was a bit scary, as everyone knows. Scary to flip from either of them. Favourite dessert? Anything. Chocolate. I love it. Can I cook? Do I like doing it? I can cook. I don't really cook. I mean, I've got a roommate, so we kind of cook together, which is really nice. I really love making like stir fries, and curries are really nice to make, and it's just really easy, basic things. If I could visit anywhere, where would I go? Honestly, I really, really want to go to Greece. I've just never been. That's probably one of the biggest places I want to go. As for if I would want to live there, no, because I actually really like living in England. It's really, the city I live in is very lovely, and we have a lot of culture and celebrations, and I love it. Age-old question of cats or dogs? Definitely cats. I'm sorry. Lance likes dogs, but I like cats. And what's my favourite thing about Lance? Oh, everything. He's just so ridiculous, to be honest. Like, the level of stubbornness to his character is amazing, and he's very forward in what he wants to go and get, and won't be shy about talking to you about it, whether it's you annoying him or him liking you or wanting you to do something. And that's like very opposite me, so it's really fun to write him being a very stubborn, determined boy. Next question was, do I have any pets? I do. I have one cat called Noko. She is 13 years old, and she's very cuddly. I love her. But that's it. And then, this, again, another good one, of what's been the most challenging aspect of Lance to write. Exactly the same point, probably his personality, because we are very different people. He's very stubborn and hard-headed, whereas I'm very more laid back and will just go with the flow, whereas he is a very, very stubborn character. But it's challenging but fun to write. What's the most rewarding? The most rewarding thing about being in the community, obviously there aren't many X-Men Evolution role players or writers or even Tumblrs based around them, so whenever I bump into someone new and they're like, oh, I don't know him, or they go and check it out, or they have, and then they used to watch it when they were younger, they'd just be like, oh, I remember Lance, he's great. And it's just so lovely to see like people remembering him a little bit, because obviously he's a caricature of a side character of the comics, and like he's never gonna be in anything else, so it's quite nice to be able to know that other people remember him. For better or worse, how do you view the Tumblr roleplay scene as having evolved since you first joined? Has it had any effect on you, how you approach writing? Right, I started when we all had the big fonts, we had the simple themes, we had the big GIFs that we just save into giant folders full of it. So it has changed so much. I've evolved to writing in more paragraph styled responses, whereas before it tended to be more one-liners. Obviously aesthetics has become a huge thing that everyone really loves, which I don't actually mind. I quite enjoy it, but I'm not the best with it. But so making icons is a bit tedious, which is why you'll see that I use like the same scene, because I'm still on that same episode screen capping it. Da, da, da. Hands down the best thing that's happened or a moment that you've had since joining. Artwork. I've had like 4 or 5 pieces of artwork of Lance done because I've inspired it, and a couple of stories, and that makes me so ridiculously happy. I've got them all saved on my computer, just like the Tumblr user and the day that it was drawn and uploaded, and I just have them all saved because I love them so much. Like, even the smallest of sketches makes me super happy. Most important question, favourite flavour of milkshake? I would have to go with strawberry, obviously. Let me see if there's anything else. And then I've got one last little bit of the favourite thing about the Tumblr community, and why I've stuck around so long. I've never, other than when I first started, I haven't written roleplay on any other server, just Tumblr, because I'm so used to the format. I think it's a really easy way to do it, and independent writing is so lovely because you get to write with everyone and anyone, and being able to write different scenarios and relationships without it clashing into each other, I really, really enjoy. And all of you guys are always so lovely. Like, I do not care about the follow count at all, and I feel like if I look on my dash, about 90% of you I talk to or like or comment on your things, and I read your role plays that aren't even to do with my character. I just love it so much. I think it's a really, like, I've never had a negative part of Tumblr before, and I'm so thankful for it because I love it so much. And then, aside from Lance, what are some of my favourite X-Men characters? Rogue, 100%. Rogue, Kitty, and I do love Pixie from the comics as well. I would really love to see her in a proper cartoon or movie, but you know. And then, of course, what are some of my other hobbies aside from roleplaying? As you can see over there, I've got hula hoops, which I tend to do quite a lot. Most of the time it's just hanging out with friends or reading. I've got like a massive stack of mangas and different novels everywhere. I've positioned you on the side of my room that doesn't have all the books everywhere, but they're like literally up, round, down. Yeah. And that's all of them. Thank you so much for sending in all the questions. It's been really fun to answer them all and make this video as awkward as I am about it, because I've never done it before. And like I said, only 4 years late in doing Mun videos, but you know, maybe I'll bring it back. I just want to say thank you so much for the follows and for the interactions and the asks and the reblogs and mentioning me in anything that is to do with Lance or what you think I'll be interested in. I appreciate it all so much. So